Hey everybody, I'm Johan and I'm back with another story. I woke up today with stuff in my lungs and a runny nose, and I already slathered Vicks on my chest. That's what we did back in the day. Uh, Inhaled hot water vapors, and I'm gonna make some tea in a bit with lemon and honey. We used to put whiskey in it back in the day, but I don't drink. So I have all these home remedies that I'm going to use. I visited my mom yesterday in assisted living, and she told me that three of the ladies she has lunch with are sick, coughing. She's okay. Uh, I'm guessing I picked it up there. It's life, it's life. So some things we can't plan. Now, at this point in this video, I haven't decided exactly what the title's going to be, but it's going to have something to do with, how we're actors. We're actors, and life is the movie set. I watched a movie the other day. It's called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And, but before I watched it, I watched like sort of documentaries about it and how the directors and producers went way out of their way to have the set, which included streets in Los Angeles, to look exactly like they did in 1969. The buildings are, a lot of them, still there. That architecture, they went into detail. They watched videos from that time, which were probably reel to reel. Spoke with people that lived there actually, so they could get the cars, obviously the music, what the people wore, the signs that were in the windows. There's scenes where they're driving along in the car, and they duplicated how, from the radio stations, all these different things. They did a phenomenal job. And that's what got me thinking about making this video, how we're influenced, in other words. We are influenced. I was born in 1958, so I grew up in the watching TV era. Popular. I remember the first show I watched, 1963, I think it was, American Bandstand. I remember the news on about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. There were a lot of westerns on, western movies, and then series based on westerns, spaghetti westerns. And as they got into the 60s a little bit more, there were more drama movies and series, lots of cop shows. The FBI, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., if you remember that one. Mannix, remember Mannix? That show, that he was a detective, drove that Dodge Dart. Wow, that was a cool car. Star Trek. I used to watch the series Combat, because then we went outside and played military. Well, we were like 9, 10 years old, including having a cigarette hanging out of our mouths that we stole from mom or dad, because they both smoked. I think it's safe to say, as I ponder it, the storylines in those movies and series, particular words they used, how they spoke, and how they reacted to, life situations were as close to real as real could get. So if it was in the 60s, they were using themes, language, ideas, concepts from the 50s. So what's my point? We were influenced by it. Not like today, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But if we were going to, that would be me and the neighbor kids, or the neighbor kids and I, if you're a literary Nazi, we were going to go out and play, then we played the part. We had military style jackets and hats and play guns and all of this stuff. And cigarettes. Because in all the movies, they had cigarettes, right? Even the spy movies, the cop movies, they had cigarettes. And pretty much from what I remember, in the cop movies and the military movies, the good guys always won. Or they won most of the time. It didn't go well for the bad guys. I still believe, I feel that people today are influenced by what they watch. And when we're talking the 60s, okay, I don't remember what time television started, but during the day you had like some news programs, maybe some game shows, soap operas. My grandmother loved, she had an afternoon like 2 hours of soap operas. And when commercials came on, she'd quick go and do some cleaning or get to the next step in what she was baking. And then by 11 o'clock, the 4 or 5 channels that we had went off the air. So there was nothing on till the next day. So a lot of people spent the night, because these series of movies I'm talking about in the 60s, they were on at night. Typically at 8 o'clock. And then the shows that weren't suitable for a younger audience, well, they came on at 10, 9 or 10. So today, television, wow, you can get, what's it called? DirecTV. I don't know, is there 200, 300, 400, 500, 1,000 channels that you could watch all day long and be influenced by that? You have the internet. You have TikTok. You have a lot of like reality shows. The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. Those types of shows that influence people. What was that one TV series a few years ago where I want to say they were college kids in New Jersey. Things like this. You had the Kardashians on for a while. You even had John Gotti, the famous gangster from New York who died in prison from cancer. They had a reality show with his kids, a reality show with Hulk Hogan, all these different shows, influences, right? I think it's safe to say most people in Western culture, and now that Western culture has invaded Eastern culture and influencing those people, like we have Hollywood, India has Bollywood. So I think it's safe to say most people in Western culture are influenced by the television, movies, shows, what's on TikTok, what's on YouTube, right? And it's way different, these shows, these programs, than what I watched, the people from my generation that grew up that way. So in a way, we're all like actors. We're all like actors. We have thrown off the culture of our ancient ancestors, and I mentioned this in videos as well, so I could go an hour explaining how all of that changed, but I think you get the gist of it. So, we're in modern times, and I could settle that this way. Our ancestors worked for themselves, interacted with each other, and were influenced, I guess you could say, by elders. Well, today it's totally different. So I think about these things in depth. And and this goes for me, but not as much anymore. Hardly at all anymore. My day was like, it would start in the morning. I was this actor preparing for the day. I'm going to go here, I'm going to do this. Maybe it was work. Maybe it was after work. I was going to get together with friends or go to a bar. Whatever it was, it started in the morning with my appearance, what I was wearing. Are other people going to like it? And then we imagine in our minds people liking us for, commenting on what we're wearing. And, we know that one or two that are going to be jerks about it. And then we go through the script. This all starts in the morning, right? And maybe on your way to the workplace or the bar or club, you think about the script. Well, I'm going to see so-and-so there, and this person's going to be there, and this couple. And you start to think about the script, what you're going to talk about. Well, I might have something to brag about today, you might think. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And if so-and-so says this, I'm saying that back. And I'm already prepared, if I'm not the center of attention, how to change the whole script to put me as the lead actor. So this is all going on in people's minds. And that's not enough, because the script isn't over. Because whether work is over, or the meeting, or at the bar, whatever it was, in our mind we imagine, yeah, we did a good job. It didn't even happen yet, right? But we are writing a script. Yeah, that's good. Do that. Say that. When you're done, and that smart aleck, you're going to put them in in their place when you say this, and then you think as you're leaving, wow, I really put them in their place, boy. They'll be bummed for the rest of the day. You're writing a script, playing a lead, playing an actor. Now, if you followed me so far, I thank you, because I want to say this at this part. For the most part, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with imagining what our day is going to be like. Or you get an idea. Maybe you get an idea. All right? So I'm sitting here and it's like, But it's a little warmer today than it's been. It's not single digits. And maybe I'm thinking about nice weather and riding a motorcycle or getting out for a walk, watching spring come, flowers, leaves on trees, the birds waking up people in the morning. I did notice now it's not pitch black at 7 o'clock in the morning, so it's starting to get light. And maybe you think, like, I've done this already. Man, if I move to some place like Arizona where it's warm all year round, doesn't snow in certain places, nice weather, boy, my body would feel a lot better. I was telling my acupuncturist about this one time, and I said, I had this idea, this vision that I would be so much better if I moved to this particular place in Arizona, say, where it's hot all the time, warm. I love heat. It's never too hot for me because my body feels good. And then I said, you know what? I thought I'd probably burn myself out if I moved to a place like that. Because I don't know any limits. I mentioned this in a video the other week that people say to me, you don't know your limits. You do too much. You don't know your limits. And I'm like, well, how do I know when enough is enough if I don't push myself? And I have found the mind and the body is resilient. So getting back to imagination, daydreaming. There's nothing wrong with daydreaming, except people today, for whatever reason, and maybe it's these shows, these movies that influence them, are designed to really make an impact in their psyche. Maybe that's a problem. It's not really realistic to sit there and think, I'm wearing this to impress these people. If this person doesn't like it, I know what I'm going to say to them. Pretty much I understand what the conversation is. I can't wait to tell them I bought a new car and I just got a promotion. But you've already put it on Facebook, right? All these different things. You're writing a script. I left a comment on a channel a couple of months ago. So the motorcycle company Royal Enfield is producing a new Scrambler. It's a 650 parallel twin Scrambler, which looks like the old Triumph Scramblers from the 60s, right? It looks cool, sounds cool, but doesn't have any practical use beyond that. But if you can afford it and you like to look cool and sound cool and you like Scramblers, that's a bike for you. But I left a comment on somebody that did a review on this new bike a couple of months ago, and I said, I thought of it one time about 3 years ago of purchasing a Royal Enfield Interceptor street bike, 650 parallel twin, changing the seat, changing the handlebars, putting knobby tires on it, and an upswept Scrambler exhaust. Because that's what people were doing. They envisioned this Royal Enfield Scrambler in their minds. It didn't look like Royal Enfield was going to produce it. And then companies were actually selling kits. You could buy a whole kit with the knobby tires, the seat, and upswept exhaust, and maybe different handlebars. I didn't do it. because it didn't seem practical for me to pay full price for a bike that does this and then spend more money to make it a bike. Well, the only thing it does different is could go off road. Because it has knobby tires, you're going to be able to go through trails, paths, dirt better as opposed to the Interceptor with the street tires. So I left a comment. So today I got a notification somebody liked that comment, and I went back and I reread 2 replies to my comment. People are such assholes. So the one guy says, well, didn't you think about the rake being different? And didn't you think that you'd have to change the rims because this bike has this sort of size rim and the Interceptor didn't? And I'm just thinking to myself, I left a comment that I had an idea, kind of about like a little daydream that I didn't go through with it. And I understand now that this Scrambler is produced by Royal Enfield, yeah, there's differences. Even the frame is different. I left them some replies and I don't think they're going to like it, you know? So what does that have to do with what we're talking about? It's just like, it seems today that if you have an idea or you just tell someone of a little daydream you had, they want to, well, I can't say that on YouTube. They want to do horrible things to you with words so you feel like you've been assaulted just because you mentioned something in passing. I guess I'm going a little off script of the script, which has to do with the title of this video. I'm old school. In a lot of ways, I'm old school. I still have visions. I still have dreams. I keep it real. Just like when I said I thought about moving somewhere, I thought about what I thought about, and then I realized that that probably wasn't a good idea anyway. It was just like a thought, a daydream. And then I thought about TV shows and series on TV that they have today, and it's like all sarcasm. A lot of it against men to make men look like they're stupid. You have ridiculous ideas. The good guy isn't the hero anymore. The bad guy is. The one that got pummeled because he wasn't interested in doing what everybody else did. And so in a series or a show, the wife made a comment to her husband that, Joe's a pretty laid back dude. Well, you know how the rest of the script goes. We can't have a wife complimenting the neighbor who lives a simple life, right? I told you this story a long time ago. I was talking to a neighbor up the street, and he was talking about single men like my age in their 60s. And he said something to the effect of, I don't understand why they don't have a woman in their life. They must be gay. And I'm like, I'm thinking this, are you effing for real, dude? Really? Why has it come to that? How did it come to that? What is influencing people to think this? Well, he had a girlfriend at the time. Now he doesn't have a girlfriend. Maybe she's a part-time girlfriend, once every couple of months to spend a weekend. But he has a guy friend from down the street that comes and visits him. They go inside his house. But I don't think like he thinks. I realize what I watch, what I read, who I talk to, who I hang around with. I mentioned this before. I realize these people influence me to a certain degree. Or if I see the influence is affecting my life in a negative way, I need to make adjustments. I'm careful what I watch on TV. I'm careful what I watch on this cell phone, telephone, right? I don't have a script every day. I kind of have a routine, but I don't have a script. I don't sit there or look at myself in the mirror every morning preparing to, well, if this person texts me, this is what I'm going to say back, or if I see this person, that person. I don't know. There's no script. I'll close with this. What a wise person once said, and I did not forget it. Be yourself, unless you suck. I'll see you in the next video, hopefully. Johan out. Peace.